On to the next one. Nowhere to run. Having given you due warning, Zero would leave you to your own devices. No, that's okay. Consider yourself duly warned. If you wish to go among the Void Sense here, that is your choice to make. All have fled from one master or another, but whether any of those masters in turn serve Golbez, I do not know. You must ask them yourself. Most have traveled to your world, so it shouldn't be difficult to communicate. We shall go about making inquiries at once. Thank you for your counsel. Once we've learned all we can, let us reconvene at yonder plaza. Alright. It's so weird. We go from killing all monsters all the time to now, like, just having a chat with them. You're going too, of course, in which case I shall accompany you. I wish only to observe. Do not expect me to help. And it's settled. I'm ready when you are. They sure put a lot of these follow quests in this expansion. I wonder what the gimmick is going to be for the next expansion. Ready? Then lead the way. I leave it to you to decide with whom you speak. Yeah, this is the standard boilerplate, you know. They're going to follow you, and, you know, you can, you know, if for whatever reason you leave and they're not following you anymore, you have to come back to the original place. This must be our house. I call this my abode, but spend hardly any time here. I return only for mediation, or meditation. While physical wounds can be healed by replenishing one's aether, you can preserve your form if you can't preserve your form if you lose sight of yourself. Such is the risk inherent in consuming another's soul. It dilutes your sense of self, alters you inside and out. To guard against this, I meditate, visually who I am, in a place all my own. All right, nice little interesting piece of information. Oh, it looks like we have two of these spots where we can talk to her about something, you know, new and specific. You slept the majority of the day? I went to a cousin's birthday party. It was good. It was food, but you know, it was for kids, you know. So it's not like I had anybody. I mean, obviously, there are people there for me to talk to, but you know, in terms of the party itself, you know, it's for children. This is the heart of my domain. Normally, it's deserted, but you and yours have drawn everyone out. I don't recall this statue, though. However, it came to be here. I certainly didn't wish for it. Well, that is interesting. I was curious. Obviously, from a forgotten time, before all this happened to this world. Ooh, I wonder if that's the other, wonder if there's a way for us to get there. Maybe that's the next dungeon we're gonna go to. What did I eat? It was they had a lot of, you know, Mexican food, you know, pretty much, you know, make your own taco kind of thing. And some dessert, you know, at the end. That's pretty much what it was. To walk around with her like that, you're her minion then. You know I don't take minions. He has some questions and I want you to answer them. Golbez, I don't know that one. Oniskatha. When she led us beyond the veil, I grew scared and fled. I've been here ever since. I don't know anyone else, nor do I wish to. That's all I can tell you. Skathach was a powerful voidsent who ruled over a vast domain. That was a long time ago, though, so I doubt she has any connection to Golbez. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. While the party wasn't that interesting to me, I enjoy some good food, so I'll take it. Hungry voidsent. Stay away from me if you don't want to be eaten. Stay away. Golbez. Golbez. I've heard that name before. Ah, I remember. Oh, speaking of a great crusade. I don't know what that is, but it sounds delicious. A crusade, you say? From whom did you hear this? Farfalio. He was a minion of another minion. Went on and on about the terrible things he saw. I see. Perhaps Farfalio can tell us more. Well, I guess that's who this last person is. Oh, look at this. It's there's a lot of what's crazy is a lot of these characters are like classic Final Fantasy, enemies. It's like the wizard in Final Fantasy 1. I think there's like a I forget if it's called the lightning wizard. There's a name for it, I forget. You're the one you're one of the mortals. Is it true? When you die over there, you really die? So it is. So it is. What brings you here then? What? I wonder what happens if we die here. We probably die forever. Ah, yes, Golbez. He seeks strong minions to grow his army, so I hear. But recently he stopped doing that. Instead, he devours all. Perhaps he's gathered enough fodder and is now intent on bolstering his own strength. A sure sign he's about to make a move. Satisfied with what you have learned? Ah, but let's step away before you become too tempting to resist. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys can take me. It seems the rumored Golbez reach even my remote domain. Fair to assume he's gathered strength for his crusade, whatever whatever that may be. But I must say I wouldn't have guessed that Farfalio once fought in Golbez's army. It's a miracle he survived serving an archfiend. I suppose I should explain. Farfalio is the weakest among us, constantly in fear of being devoured. He seldom consorts with others. The only one he's comfortable with is Ciricito. He's a fellow coward who runs the instant he senses a threat and won't stop until he's exhausted. And that's how he stays alive, man. You got to adapt. And if that's just running away, that's what it is. When their hunger grows too intense, they feed on each other's aether, such is their relationship. But I ramble. You intend to seek out for Folio, I presume? Then I'll come with you. He's less likely to hide that way. Sure thing. Every $125 you spend on PlayStation, you get $5 PlayStation credit. Seems like not much. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Oh, look at that. We took one of them down. Now there's only 3.
Not only did the mortals conquer Troy, they defeated Scarmalione. I struggle to believe it. Heavens, oh my lords. They were aided by one of our world, who transformed Scarmalione's soul into crystal. Crystal? This one speaks of Memoria. Now there's something I've not heard for an age. It'll bring a pang of nostalgia to my breast and a tear to my heart. If the very notion wasn't absurd! Drifting our good, drowned in darkness, as were we all.
And yet Scarmalione still does not answer. Were he alive, he would have returned by now. Weakest though he was, his ability to regenerate was without peer. If this account is true, if a Memoriat has survived, they cannot be suffered to live.
Leave this matter to me, Lord Goddess.
Oh, looks like the wind boss is next.
I, Barbaricia, shall strike down any who pose a threat to our plans.
'Tis true, you are a proven commander, well suited to leading an assault.
And when I have succeeded, I would beg a boon of you.
What do you desire?
The dragon's ether. All that remains.
The insolence. Noble place.
With respect, my locks are free as the wind, without incentive to sway them. I know not whither they will blow.
Boldly spoken. I trust you will not disappoint me.
Well, it's a good thing he's gonna ask the wind to do the job first. She's never coming back.
Upon this flowing hair and my immortal soul, I will not fail.
Then go and impress upon these interlopers the futility of defiance.
It's weird. Usually, actually, I'm not gonna I forget the order. Because usually in like the original Final Fantasy, I think there's 4 elements. I think you start off with Earth.
My lord,
Fire might be third. I forget the order. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever get. I don't think I'd ever get that $5 PS credit because I would just never. Usually, when it comes to consoles, I buy physical if I can. And if I can't buy physical, I might just buy it on PC. So I don't have pretty much. I think I might have one game digitally on my my PlayStation account, and even and then I bought a physical copy of that later. So you remember you watched a lot of Fighting Cowboy for your DS1 playthrough. I like Fighting Cowboy. Got a good Let's Play channel. I think I also watch there's another one called Grav. That's not his full name. He calls himself Grav, I think. I forget the full name. But he's got a good Dark Souls 1 playthrough. I enjoyed it. Our fellow keeps keeps to the fringes of my domain, this way. And I wonder why my bags are always unsorted. Ask about Farfello's hiding place. The void sent here don't answer to a master. They can do as they please. But all must answer to the hunger, and seek out prey when they need aether. Except Farfallo and Cerato. That is, they are content to take from one another. Barring an incident, they dare not venture out. When he takes flight, Ceracito will not seek shelter until he's utterly spent. Farfello, on the other hand, prefers to hide in the same place. Come. Oh, great. We're going to have to look for him. Hopefully not. Oh, there he is. Not too hard to find. Hey, that's a weird looking dude. Dude's shaking already. No, whatever will I do now? I'm trying to get his name right. Cerato? That might be right. Serato, this is rather unexpected. Where is Farfellow? Farfellow. Farfellow. No. Farfar. And whatever. Farfellow. That's not right. I know it's not right. Farfarello isn't here anymore. He left. Yes, that's right. Left? That doesn't sound like him at all. Well, he's gone, all right. What more do you want from me to say? He's probably that eye that was kind of spying on us in the last place. And off he flees, as he is wont to do. But something about this doesn't sit well with me. What do you make of Cerato's behavior? He seemed frightened. Perhaps someone threatened him. Yeah, let's go with that one. I doubt it. Had he been threatened, he would have found him. We wouldn't have found him in one place. No, he would run in circles until he could run no more. That's his nature. As he says, Farfarello is gone, but that is quite unusual. As is the fact that Cerato, who was clearly frightened by something, chose not to flee but instead hide here, where Farfarello usually. No. We must go after Ciracito now. I feel like every time their name comes up, I pronounce it a different way. Must drive people watching insane. Let's see what's up with this guy. Cerato. We need to talk. There's no time. The wind rises. We must flee. The wind rises. What is he talking about? After him. Oh, how did he end up? What the hell? Oh, he's. Oh, we gotta go. How did he end up there? Let's get on the mount. Hopefully she's still following us on the mount. What's gotten into you? What do you mean the wind rises? When the wind rises, she comes. Barbaricia. Barbaricia? Who in the world is that? We must flee, all of us. There's no time. Oh, even Zero doesn't know who she is. I don't sense anything, but he seems convinced. It's a dead end beyond. We'll corner him. What's my favorite game? Oh, that's a tough choice. I suppose it's always changing all the time, right? I guess, I really kind of fell in love with the Dark Souls series. I think I'm going to go with Dark Souls 3. I really like that game. This game itself is not so bad. I mean, I've put more time in this game than any other game I've played in my whole life. That must count for something. We're doomed. There's nowhere to run. What are you running from? I already told you, Barbaricia, the Archfiend of Wind. Archfiend, you say? We will be devoured or forced to serve, to fight in the crusade. But it makes no difference in the end. All are eaten by hero or enemies. I didn't want to fight anymore, that's why I fled and came here. I see. That explains everything. Almost. I thought it was for a fellow who used to serve an archfiend. Not you. Not you, who always ran at the first sign of trouble. You who now speak as though you are Barbacitia's minion. There's only one explanation. You devoured Farfellow? Well, so maybe he does gain his memories by eating him. Indeed, that would account for his uncharacteristic behavior. So is that the way of it? Did you devour Farfellow? I hope you did, so I don't have to keep pronouncing your name. And not just a portion of his aether, but his entire being. How did you know? It wasn't only your behavior that felt strange. You felt strange, as if there was more than one, as if there was more than you present. Now I don't believe you would have lost control. More likely it was at Farfellow's behest. I can't hide anything from you. I admit it, for if a fellow didn't leave, I ate him. He feared Barbaricia more than anything. He hated the endless fighting, so he begged me to devour him, that he would never have to fight again. Rather than an eternity of fighting, he chose a moment of pain. Oh, so it's painful too. For all for all the good it did, I can still hear his voice in my head. He's frightened, so very frightened. Could you imagine? I mean, the only way I can like parallel this to something that you might experience in, well, I guess you wouldn't really experience in real life. But could you imagine if like one day like the apocalypse comes down on Earth and like you're forced to fight a war for eternity, angels against demons, right? And I don't know whatever side you're on, forced to fight for eternity. And when you die, you feel it. And then you're reborn. You have to keep doing it for eternity. That's what this sounds like. Sounds awful. Dark Souls 3 is your favorite of the Souls series? Yeah, I would tend to agree, yeah. I had a good time with Sekiro as well. Bloodborne, also a good game. It's hard to choose, right? When you're eaten, your essence is blended with that of your devourer. And though you have no control, your consciousness is part endures. Were this a world where the wheel of life and death still turned, the soul wouldn't linger so stubbornly. In time, it would return to the great flow. There's no such end here, no escape. All know this. In making his choice, Farfolio must have been desperate indeed. And now the desperation has joined with Cerecito's fear, driving him to act erratically. Yeah, Elden Ring might jump up there with the DLCs coming out. The reason I don't like it as much as Dark Souls 3 is because it's too open. And it just seems like much more of a task if I want to like replay it. Whereas Dark Souls 3 is more confined. And it doesn't seem so overwhelming if I want to replay it. This place will become a battlefield. We don't want to be eaten. Neither me nor Farfolio, but there's nowhere to go. Nowhere. I thought I wouldn't have to pronounce his name if after you ate him. Keep talking about him. Then tell me about Barbaricia. I would know who it is we face. It's too late. She's as good as here. And no one can escape her wins. No one. Oh, boss time? Actually, this might not be a boss. Maybe it'll just be like a battle, like last time.
Amaricia! She has come!
She's an island?
And she's brought her domain with her.
Well, cool.
The Archfiend's after you and yours, I shouldn't doubt. Perhaps you should go and find them. But be warned, whatever this is about, do not expect us to get involved.
Nope. Looks like it's going to turn into a dungeon.
I can't manage eating and being eaten. Are you ever to be left in peace?
You and me both.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can skip. You don't have to do everything in Elden Ring. And if you know what you're doing, you could just go straight to it.
One of the Archfiend's approaches.
They must have been tracking our movements.
She's here.
I wonder what she's gonna. Ooh. Wasn't expecting that. Not as ugly as the other person. I wonder what her name is, if I recognize it. That's a pretty cool looking sword.
Excellent.
Oh, of course, Barbarisia. Yeah, we knew her name already. I don't recognize her name from any other Final Fantasy. Maybe she's a new character.
My name is not to be spoken save in reverence and fear. And what is this pitiful domain? Pitiful wretches all. I will put you out of your misery.
Oh, look at that dude in the background.
Alas, poor Scarmiglione, and good riddance. Felled by outsiders in pursuit of what? Pray tell.
A dragon. One who crossed to this world thousands of years ago. Know you aught of it?
A dragon, you say?
Well, she sure does know some of it.
My Lord Golbez is more clever than I realized. To let the prize live, that it might lure more prey to us. Very well. In gratitude and service, I shall devour every last mote of their souls.
Where is she? Where is Ashdaya?
Huh. You even share its scent. How curious. And irresistible.
Spider-Man 2 is getting better the more you play it. The beginning of the game was so mid. But after the beginning, it was peak. That's funny. I hear the exact opposite from people. Not that I've heard like many people talk about it, but some people say the beginning is pretty good. I mean, they don't say that after that it's mid, but I've heard people like the beginning. I don't see myself playing it though. I didn't play the first one.
If you think us easy prey, you're wrong.
Unlike Scarmiglione, I need not skulk in shadow to claim what is mine. If you would know about the dragon you seek, then enter into my domain.
Oh, straight dungeon.
You may flee instead if you wish, if the fate of the sorry lot here is of no concern to you. One way or another, I will have satisfaction.
You felt the beginning was so boring? Fun is subjective. But I'm glad the game is getting better for you anyways. I mean, it's an expensive game, $70.
What's the plan then?
Into the dungeon. If we go, we'd be playing into... What a chicken shit answer. Go after Barbaricia. What else?
Indeed. Yet she will have the upper hand in her domain. We must be no less than fully prepared. We find her and get our answers. Will you be joining us, Zero?
Hey, thanks for coming to the stream, Cat. I'll see you some other time.
You may be easily goaded into accepting her challenge, but my curiosity is not so insatiable as to cloud my judgment. Nevertheless, if you are desperate for my aid, you know my price.
Looks like it's going to turn into the same thing as last time. Do the dungeon, and then she's going to help us finish her off.
So long as you leave me strength enough to see my sister home, you may take as much as you wish. And lest you forget, mine is no ordinary ether. Barbaricia too recognized its potency.
Very well. We have a bargain.
Oh, I guess she's coming with us. Is this... Oh, yep. Oh, I thought they were going to announce the dungeon. Usually when they pan off to a side like that, they got some dungeon. Well, it must be a part of the next quest. The less time we give the enemy to prepare, the better. If everyone is ready, then let us set forth. Indeed, and yet my heart still weighs heavy for those Barbaricia struck down. Were it not for us, she would not have come here. Should you require a moment, Zero? For what? Barbaricia took what she could. She was wise to strike quickly, as we would be. Agreed. There is no time for sentiment. Only the battle matters now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we don't need any of those anyways, but whatever, we'll just pick one. Probably end up selling it anyways.